past few months, teachers and administrators have been working hard to draft what we call administrative regulations, also known as ARs, that will establish expectations about the amount and type of homework that gets assigned in our school district. At the end of last school year, the MVLA Board of Trustees passed a new board policy about homework. The policy sets some direction and is obviously important, but it's really the administrative regulations that put the board policy into effect. They provide much more specific directions for teachers and students. The teachers and administrators at both Mountain View and Los Altos high schools have been working together to develop the administrative regulations you're about to see. We're sharing them with you now because we want your feedback about what you think will help make homework a more valuable part of the learning experience and what you think will help lower the levels of academic stress students are experiencing. We know that homework is just one of many factors that contribute to stress, but it's one that we feel we can address, so it's been our focus this year. We're also sharing them with various parent groups on campus. The MVLA Board of Trustees will make the final decision about what gets included in these administrative regulations, and will vote on that decision this spring. They're interested in student, parent, and teacher feedback, so your input here is valuable. It may not always feel like it, but we genuinely care about students' opinions, and we appreciate your willingness to give up another tutorial in order to share them with us.
Before we look at the drafted administrative regulations, here's a quick definition of homework. According Board Policy 6154, which is one of the board passed last spring, homework is defined as the assigned learning activity that students work outside of the classroom. Homework usually falls in one of the three categories: practice, preparation, or extension. Homework is usually directly tied to classroom instruction and should support a deepening of student understanding and skills. In other words, homework is any assigned work that a teacher directs a student to do outside of class.
So now let's take a look at the draft of the administrative regulations on homework. The first AR has to do with the amount of time students should expect to spend on homework. The text on the screen is exactly what's been written so far. It reads, "It is important to note that these numbers refer to the time spent by the majority of students in the class. Individual students may find that they need to spend more or less time on assignments for a class. If they find that homework for class is taking significantly more than the expected amount listed here, they should speak with their teacher for help examining their study habits and strategies or for other resources." In other words, we recognize that all students are different. The numbers you're about to see aren't guarantees. They're just guidelines for teachers to follow. If the majority of the class is spending more time than listed here, the teacher should make a change. But if one or two students are individually taking more time, that's okay, and they should think about talking to their teacher. Here are the numbers. Students in college prep and honors classes should expect up to 2 to 3 hours of focused, undistracted homework time per week in a single class. That works out to between 30 and 45 minutes for each class 4 times a week. And note the keywords "up to." We do not believe that every class is currently or ever will assign that much homework. Moving on to AP classes, the draft reads as follows. Students who choose to enroll in advanced placement in pre-AP honors classes should expect greater workloads. The board encourages students to consider the number of AP classes they enroll in, keeping in mind that real college courses frequently require self-directed study that can, at a student's option, far exceed the time specified here. The board encourages students to leave time in their schedules for this self-directed study. Students in AP and pre-AP honors classes should expect up to 4 to 5 hours of focused, undistracted time per week in a single class. That works out to between 60 and 75 minutes of homework 4 nights per week for AP and pre-AP honors classes.
Weekend homework seems to be another area of concern for students. The draft AR that talks about weekend homework reads as follows. The average cumulative amount of homework assigned on Friday, due Monday, will not exceed a regular day's assignment. Students may also choose to use weekends for revision, review, enrichment, or completion of makeup assignments.
The draft AR that talks about homework over breaks and holidays reads as follows. No homework will be assigned during December semester break. The semester break is intended to be a time that is free from schoolwork for students. In general, homework will not be assigned over the following holidays: Thanksgiving, February break, and April break. In the event that homework is deemed necessary, the amount of work required will not exceed a regular day's assignment. Students may also choose to use break time for revision, review, enrichment, or completion of makeup assignments. AP classes may require additional homework over the April break in preparation for the upcoming AP exams.
The draft AR that talks about projects may seem a little vague, but that's because projects are already covered in another part of the board policy's administrative regulations. It reads, AR 5121 allows project-based assignments to be assigned as homework. However, these tasks should minimize group meetings outside of school hours, significant assistance from parents, or costly materials. Online communication should be encouraged to complete group projects. Teachers should monitor and be mindful of the logistical challenges of group assignments outside of the classroom.
The next AR is called Self-Advocacy Regarding Concurrent Deadlines. This is where we attempt to address what happens when students have an unreasonable number of tests or assignments due on the same day. The AR reads, "In the spirit of teaching our students to be self-advocates, individual students are encouraged to communicate with their teachers in a timely manner when they find themselves with concurrent deadlines. Teachers will attempt to ameliorate these student concerns. Schools will continue to explore ways to address the issue of stress caused by concurrent deadlines." In other words, we're planning to make it the individual student's responsibility to advocate for him or herself when they have too much to do on a particular day. We considered creating a shared online calendar that would list when assignments are due school-wide, but there's just too many different teachers giving too many different assignments to too many different students for that to be practical.
Finally, the draft AR that talks about summer work reads as follows. Regardless of the course, no homework should be required during the summer break for courses taking in the subsequent year, a school year. With a concern for summer learning loss, we encourage students to pursue summer reading and other resources for enjoyment and enrichment. Thanks for listening. Now your class will provide feedback to your teachers so we can gauge the student's body's opinion. Remember that the board will have the final decision. We'll keep you posted.